Good evening and welcome to the Arundel Camera Club live stream for Wednesday, December 16th, 2020. My name is John Milliker and I'm the club president for the 2020-2021 season. The Arundel Camera Club was founded in 1957 and exists to promote the art, science, and education in all aspects and fields of photography. Normally we meet at 7 p.m. every Wednesday evening during the school year in Severna Park, Maryland. However, with the current disruptions, we've decided to continue business as normal in a virtual space, which allows us to protect our members and guests from the current COVID-19 situation. For more information about us, please visit us at www.arundelcameraclub.org. Normally, we would have had some pre-show music that was from our very own Brian Flynn, and unfortunately, last week we had some copyright issues with Facebook, even though we were given the permission to show that off. But Brian has a fantastic CD coming out. It's already out, actually, called Campobello Sky. We just received ours today, or was it yesterday, Christine?
Yesterday?
So it's quick shipping, but Brian has been so fantastic and so gracious that if you were to buy Brian's CD or even any of his books on his website and then email him with your order number at brian@brianflynnarts.com, he will graciously donate $5 of each purchase back to our club. His website is www.brianflynnarts.com, and check out everything he's got. This CD, Campobello Sky, is just absolutely fantastic. We were really enjoying listening to it. And that is going until, I believe, the end of December 31st, I think, is the cutoff on that. Brian presented his book called The Wisdom of Stones. I believe that was last year or maybe the year before for the Camera Club when we were meeting. And this book is absolutely fantastic, and I highly recommend both of them. Also, everyone who has requested a 2020 Arundel Camera Club holiday ornament has had their ornaments created. If you've already paid, your ornament should already be in the mail. If you haven't paid yet, your ornament has been created. Please make sure you square up with Michelle. Tonight is the last night to order this. If you're interested, go to our Facebook page or check your email from Michelle and get your name on the list there. That way we can send one out to you, as you can see that on the screen right there. The cost is $7, up $2 from last year, and that's only to cover PayPal and mailing fees for anything that needs to be happening there. And a big thank you to Christine Milliker, our programs chair. She donated the material for these. Our MPA rep, Ron, has asked me to mention to club members that in January until May, the MPA is planning on a series of 5 webinars. Keep an eye out on announcements from Ron on our Facebook group for that. Ron has given me a couple things, but he says they're still kind of ironing some things out. And the price for these webinars is $5, or you can get a pack of them, which includes your dues as well. Christine, our programs chair, Christine, I'm going to turn it over to you if you want to go ahead and give us some information on the next few weeks.
Okay, on both Wednesday the 23rd and Wednesday the 30th, we have no official meeting scheduled. However, like Thanksgiving, we'll probably set up a last-minute conference room like tonight's if anyone wants to get in and have a chat with other members. Also, on Wednesday the 30th, please turn in your December photo assignments, which is the theme is anything to do with the holidays, by 7 p.m. to programs@arundelcameraclub.org. On January the 6th is our photo assignment discussion, anything to do with the holidays. And then on January the 13th, we have a program from Rich Isaacman called Around the World with Street Photography. And on January the 20th is our digital color and monochrome photography contest. The theme is open.
Great. Thank you very much, Christine. Let's go ahead and go over to our lovely view and lovely screen of participants. Hi, everybody. If you've just joined, your microphone is turned off. Make sure you turn your microphone back on. Can we get someone to say something to make sure we've got audio doing good?
Hi, Sue and Bob.
I'm doing all right.
Hey, guys. I see Ed. Hey, Ed. How you doing? You're muted, bud. Make sure you unmute the button on the bottom middle.
Test,
Oh,
1, 2,
I think
3.
he hit the hang up instead. We'll have to get him back through. Yep, heard you fine, Fred. Thank you so much. Well, everybody, hey guys.
Hi, guys.
Well, welcome. If anybody out there in Facebook land wants to join, we have the link in our Facebook group. It is up top. It is an announcement. Welcome back, Ed. Click the one to the left of the little red hang up button, and that will unmute your microphone.
Okay.
There you go. I hear you
we
loud
go.
and clear.
I like this. I like this system here. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Are we both showing?
It's nicer than Zoom.
There we go. I just wanted to make sure I heard you on stream, Ed. This is a self-hosted piece of software that we've set up for just for our stream. So it's a dedicated computer. It is an open source piece of software called Jitsi Meet, and we're really happy with it. We've been using this for a couple weeks with our judges and our programs people, and we've really liked the quality that it had afforded us. Well, as I said, anybody that wants to join us, please be sure to check out the announcement in the Facebook group. And before we get to that, let's get started. What does everybody have to drink tonight?
Unfortunately, just caffeinated soda, no alcohol.
Caffeinated sugar water. How about Christine over there?
I'm just drinking water.
Water. Okay, boring. I see Mike holding up a Diet Coke. Boring.
I'm just drinking chamomile tea.
Tea. That's a lot more interesting. How about you, Fred?
Sounds like it's bedtime.
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. Sounds good. How about the Webbers?
Just tea. We
Tea.
both have colds.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So if it wasn't for the snow and if it wasn't for the COVID, we still wouldn't have made it to the party tonight.
Oh.
Just to keep you all safe.
Ed, what do you have in that glass there?
I'm having delicious coffee with ice cream on the top.
What?
Oh, wow, it's fattening.
Yes.
That is super
I'm
fancy.
treating myself tonight. I weighed in at Weight Watchers and I was within my goal weight. So I'm happy. I weigh in once a month. And if I'm with my goal weight, I don't have to pay anything.
That sounds
It
like
was
an
tough-
old
it was
Stephen
tough
King
because
story.
This time I had all my clothes on, so I was much heavier. So I had to make sure I lost a little extra weight before I went.
So you don't have to pay if you meet your goal, you don't have to pay.
That's right.
There was wasn't it a Stephen King story or wasn't it a creep show story where they guaranteed that you would quit smoking? And it turned out that they were hunting you down and chopping off your fingers every time they caught you smoking. Kind of almost sounds like that, Ed. I'd be real careful of that. We have a new face, a gentleman with a beard. I don't know who you are. I'm really sorry.
I think that's Doug.
Is that Doug? Doug, make sure to turn off your microphone. It's the button on the bottom left that looks like a microphone, not the red hangy uppy button.
Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Is it Doug? Who is it?
Yeah, this is Doug.
Hey, Doug. Nice to finally see you.
I met a couple of you guys a few years ago when you did the sick milk mill thing.
Oh, that's great.
Well, we're
I
glad to
had
have
dinner
you.
with, and I don't remember who all it was, but we had dinner with you guys.
That's the guy who keeps winning.
Yes, Doug's the one
Yes.
that keeps winning.
Excuse me, Shane, that silk mill's not an option anymore.
Excuse me, John. JC's having problems getting in.
Okay,
Do you see him?
I don't.
He doesn't see you. You still there?
Make sure he's typing in ACC program instead of holiday. We had someone type holiday in that instead. Holiday is just the password in case we have some naughty people on stream we got to kick out.
Oh, okay.
Look, here's what you do. Click on.
You trusted us, so we didn't have to use the password.
Yes. Now, like I said, if I've got to start kicking people that are being naughty, like Doug winning all the damn contests, then we have the password as a fallback.
Wait, can we vote to have Ron? Never mind.
Uh-oh.
He keeps winning.
I think Mike Thomas goes along with him.
Yeah.
Chuck, what are you drinking?
Peanut butter whiskey.
Ooh.
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 Wait a minute. Is that the peanut butter
You got
whiskey
that
from
last
last
year.
year's Christmas party?
We ended up giving that back to the Hockles. But we were so curious about it that we bought some this year to try out. And it's really good.
Wow.
Ooh.
I think Christine and I had it once or twice, and we got it taken away from us.
My son just bought salted caramel whiskey, which we're curious to try.
Ooh.
Mm.
And I'll finish up. of course, trolling the pandemic, I guess. I'm drinking a Corona. Unfortunately, we had a problem with our refrigerator, and I had to turn the ice maker off because it wasn't refrigerating right. So I turned the ice maker off. We got it fixed, but I forgot to turn the ice maker back on. So my normal standby, which is Campari, just isn't going to happen tonight. It just wasn't meant to be. Welcome, Mary Lou. Everybody starts with their microphone muted.
Hi.
Unmute your microphone, Mary Lou, and tell us what you're drinking tonight. Bottom to the left of the hangy uppy button.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi.
Refrigerator.
Hi.
Turn the ice maker
Wait,
off.
I
Oh,
don't-
you're a little delayed, Mary Lou. So we're getting a copy of you. What you're going to need to do is either get a pair of headphones or someone's got some feedback.
Who's got the refrigerator ice machine discussion going on?
Mary Lou, everybody starts
Okay.
with their microphone muted.
Can you hear me now?
Unmute your microphone, Mary Lou.
Okay.
Yes, but somebody is very lagged.
Or has the Facebook stream playing in the background.
Oh, that's another one.
That's probably what it is.
Oh, okay. Hold on. That might be me. Okay, hold on.
We're just getting the feedback from that.
That's it.
Okay, how about now?
Perfect.
Very good now.
All right. Okay.
All right, Mary Lou, tell us what you're drinking tonight.
All right, I'm drinking some nice red wine and enjoying it. Wearing my holiday shirt and all set to have a party.
Perfect. Well, we're glad you're here. You should know everybody in here except for the very handsome bearded gentleman. That is Doug Wood, who's been cleaning up in the novice contests.
Yeah.
As opposed to the rest of the bearded gentlemen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but the competition looks pretty steep when I get out of the novice.
It
Yeah.
usually is.
It's hard. It's really
I've
hard.
noticed very much this year.
Yeah, I used to win all the time. Not anymore.
I got to start winning once Mary Lou got out before me,
There you go.
and a couple of others.
Yeah.
You know, there
I
are
had a
actually,
little brief moment in the sun.
Yeah, you won a lot.
I had a good run there for about a year and a half.
Get
Yes,
them tricolor ribbons quick.
there's actually very rarely used bylaws that will allow someone who has been promoted to unlimited, who has not won in so many weeks after getting promoted, to ask to go back down. No one's ever tried it. And then we don't know what to do with them, because then do they earn points again and come back up? We don't know.
Mary Lou, I remember at the party last year, you were so enthralled with all the ribbons and accolades you got.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah, boy, you are the happiest person there.
I never
See
I
you
never
so happy.
expected never expected that. Plus, I got another one this year. I forgot what it was. Something, but a plaque. I mean, I guess that was for for the following year. I got a plaque.
Right.
Yeah.
Fred, do we have any update on JC?
He said that he was using Edge, so he was going to go to Chrome.
Okay, I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna do a copy of the meeting link and see if I can't go over and just send him something directly.
Christine, it's wonderful to see you out
Okay,
not
sounds
on the
great.
railroad tracks.
I know that scared me.
Somebody's coming in.
Yeah, whoever just came in, your microphone is muted by default on the bottom of your screen. And turn
Okay.
off. Somebody has echo again.
I'm sort of a new member, Dave Heron.
Hey, Dave,
Nice to
welcome.
meet you.
Hey, have you got something
And I'm
going in the
drinking-
background?
Yeah, I have a television on. Hold on.
There you go.
Oh,
Much
much
better.
better.
No, it's still on.
We've still got somebody echoing. Does somebody have Facebook open as well?
Or maybe you need headphones on.
Yeah, it could be. Somebody else is here.
Michelle.
That looks like
Michelle
Michelle.
is
Yeah.
here.
That looks like Michelle, yeah. We're getting so many people. I've got a. Wow. That is a delayed echo.
I'm gonna test mute. What was it David that just came in? David, I just muted you because I'm getting such a bad audio echo. Do you have a pair of headphones? Try to find a pair of headphones for us, and then we'll test out again and try to unmute you. Michelle, we see you in here, but you were muted by default. You can unmute yourself and say hello to the group.
Excuse me,
Hi,
John.
everyone. I knew I was muted, but I was staying muted for a reason.
Well, that's good for everybody. What's up, Fred?
But you have to turn your camera on.
That is not happening right now.
I had
JC is trying to get on, and he went to Chrome, and he's saying he's waiting for the host to let him in.
Yeah, I think he's typing the link wrong. I just sent him an email with the direct link. Either he's typing the ACC program wrong, or he's typing in the password, which is holiday, because that's what he would get. He would get, hey, because we can have multiple rooms. Somebody just
Right.
bounced in. Hopefully that's There's
There's
JC.
JC.
Okay.
There he is.
JC, you start off muted. You just need to go on the bottom of your screen and click on that little microphone icon, and you'll be good to go.
Unmuted.
There you
Perfect,
go.
we hear you.
Hi.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you all. Hey, it kept telling me that. It just kept telling me that you haven't started yet.
Yeah, I think maybe you were typing it in wrong, or maybe you're using the word holiday instead of ACC program.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was typing in holiday.
Holiday is the password in case we have to clamp down the security a little bit.
Okay. Oh, so I didn't need to type that. So I didn't need that holiday thing.
No, just ACC program. David, let's
Oh,
try you.
okay.
How are you working out?
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Which David, are you talking to me?
Yes, sir.
There we go.
I had a little bit of trouble logging in. When I was in the Navy, they had a photograph of a moving machine, a processing machine, very complicated, and it had a sign on it said, when all else fails, read the instructions. So I had to go back and reread the instructions.
Oh.
RTFM.
Well, we're glad to have everybody here.
Yep.
Michelle, are you drinking anything fancy?
muted.
Not yet.
Not yet. How about you, David? What do you have for the winter drink?
Diet Snapple peach tea.
Peach tea. JC, how about you, sir?
Apple cider, hot apple cider.
Oh, that sounds
nice.
good.
Might need to go grab me a glass of that.
Make them too.
That's from Walmart.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, we're glad to have everybody here. Do we want to get started? We asked everybody to bring a photo to share, and we asked everybody to bring a photographic doodad to share and kind of talk about. Does everybody have their photo? Christine, you were in the top left-hand corner. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Do you have a what do you got? Do you have a share for your screen, or do you have something to hold up?
I have a share screen.
Okay.
Is that up?
Yes.
Sunset from Chincoteague.
All right. Tell us about this photo.
We went to Chincoteague for Thanksgiving, and the clouds cooperated, and we got this beautiful sunset. And I got a little bit of a silhouette of the grasses on the water and the beautiful clouds.
That was a beautiful night.
Sure was.
Pretty windy. Pretty windy that night. We went once and it rained, and then we went again and the clouds really cooperated.
So I figured I'd start with the sunset.
Fantastic.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nice sunset.
Tell us about Chincoteague, Chris.
Sorry, Chincoteague, island in Virginia. We stayed in a little beautiful little townhome and just had a family week, and I love going there because you can see the horses, you can see the nature, you can be at the beach and the ocean, and it's a little less quiet, a little more quiet than Ocean City.
No, we didn't see any horses. I don't ever remember seeing horses at Chincoteague.
They're
we
there.
always see them at Assateague.
Yeah, they're there, but we've not been lucky enough to see them yet.
Does anybody else have that issue where you see more horses at Assateague than Chincoteague?
Yes.
I
Yeah?
definitely do.
Yeah.
I was at Chincoteague and I saw horses. It was wonderful.
we saw, and when Christine and I went, we saw a kingfisher, and he was flying back and forth, and we were trying to sneak up on him, and he flew off. And then as soon as he perched somewhere, and we thought we were going to get him, a great blue heron came in and chased him away from his territory. Thank you, Christine. Rich, do you have anything for us?
Yes, I do. Let me share screen. I have to allow. Why is I'm trying to share the screen here.
Okay.
Window or screen to share. Oh, here we go. There. Can you see this?
Oh, wow.
This, I went to, I did not go to Conowingo with the club, but I went about 2 weeks before that, late in the afternoon, and only having a 200 millimeter lens, the birds are mere specks. So this is my picture of the fishermen who were catching rather large fish, trying to get them before the eagles got them. And I think they were having good success because it was in the afternoon and the eagles were probably all full.
We usually have such bad luck at Conowingo, so usually I'm picking off people as well. This is very nice. I like the line of the three there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there were actually 5 of them, but it cropped better to square with just 3 of them.
You should have gotten the water and taken the picture from the other side.
Yeah, sure. I'm not as dedicated as you, Mike.
When was this, Rich?
This was about 3 weeks ago, something like that.
A lot of eagles flying.
We tend to. There were a lot of them there, but they were mostly up in the towers and flying around high. Very few of them were down near the water fishing, and I wouldn't have been able to get them anyway. I took one up in a tree overhead, and it was about as big as one of these guys' heads. So it was a very interesting place, and without getting like a 500 or 600 millimeter lens and all those other fancy things you have, and an infusion of patience and skill, the fishermen are okay.
Yeah.
So
I got a question for you. When the dinner bell rings, do those guys get out of the water?
I don't know. This was about half an hour before sunset.
Well, what I mean is when they open up the dam, can they get out of the way?
Oh.
Because what happens when you're there is this bell goes off and everybody's supposed to get out. I guess everybody gets out of the way because the water starts coming. And that's
they're obviously, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when the alarm goes off, that's the warning for them to get out. They've gotten, so many minutes to get out of the water.
I'm surprised they even let them in the water.
There were a bunch of them there, and they, a couple of big fish laying on the pavement, or not the pavement, but the dirt, just outside the water. Yeah, it was.
Were they catfish? Were they catfish?
I don't know. It had to be a 20 to 30 pounder, I would think.
Well, I've seen a catfish there, and this guy was dragging it on the ground, and JC told me that you couldn't put him back in, and that's why he was dragging it because it was huge.
Yeah, I don't know enough. Maybe JC knows more and can tell you.
Of course, there are certain type of catfish, and also the snakehead that you're not supposed to put them back in the water. You're supposed to either kill them or either take them home and eat them. They are not endangered species, but they just they eat up all the other fish. I know there's a sign up there at Conowingo. There are 3 fish up there that well, I don't think they don't have snakeheads in Conowingo, but they have the catfish up there though.
I grew up in the Northwest on Puget Sound, and we used to go down and fish, and we came home with a catfish, and my friend's dad took one look at it, and he says, "Take that damn thing out and bury it in the garden. That's the only thing it's good for."
No, well, tell me he doesn't know what he's missing, okay?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what a Puget Sound saltwater catfish is like.
Oh, no, not saltwater catfish.
It's a saltwater. It's not a freshwater catfish.
Now, saltwater, you can forget it. You don't want a saltwater catfish. Those
Yeah.
things are like, I mean, oh my God, they are like, I don't even know how anybody can even think about eating one of those. Now, freshwater catfish, that's the only way to go.
I remember visiting Huntsville, Alabama, and asking where's the place to go to eat, and they said Catfish Haven. Where else? And it was a barn-sized place.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
thanks.
you want me to stop sharing
Yeah.
here? We can go
Thanks
on.
for sharing that with us, Rich. How about Fred? Does Fred have anything for us? Just make sure to unmute your microphone when you're ready to talk.
Yeah, let me check this. Let me see if I'm doing it right. Oh,
So explain
wow.
how to do it. Explain how to do it.
It's
Okay,
very
look
similar to
okay. Oh,
StreamYard,
there it is.
and I think it's similar to Zoom as well. As soon as you
Yeah,
share
it
your
is.
screen,
It's the same thing.
it asks you what exactly you want to share.
Can you see that?
Yeah, very nice.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, that was taken at Fort Meade by accident. What happened was I was shooting my favorite blue herring, and I told some people to walk over and scare the blue herring because I knew it was going to fly toward me. And when it started flying, out of the corner of my eye, I seen something flying, dragging something behind it. And this was Thanksgiving Day. And what happened was at first I thought it was an eagle. And I took a side picture of it, and then I realized what it was. I thought it was a golden eagle, and then JC told me it was a hawk. So then I moved forward and came in, and he just sat there. I took probably 30 pictures of him, 30, 40 pictures, because he just sat there and looked at me. And I was sitting on a 200 to 600 out at 900.
Looks
So
like
it
he
was
has
like
a
right
dead
on.
squirrel there.
Well, he sure does. He sure does.
Wow,
Yeah,
amazing.
everybody asked me if that was a rabbit or a squirrel, but that was shot. And actually saying that's basically how it came out of the camera. All I did was crop it in because the sun was just hitting it perfect. And a matter of fact, it was a JPEG.
Wow. Amazing. Great shot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question? So where do you want your picture if you're going to share your screen? Can it be in any program?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of us are using Lightroom. I think Rich, we used just a picture viewer.
Mine was just the standard Mac. The name escapes me right now.
John, how do you stop sharing?
Preview.
Should be a button, but I don't see you sharing
There's
anymore.
a button on there to stop
it's stop
sharing.
Okay, great.
And then I had to allow my camera again so that it would.
Okay, I thought it was still sharing.
Where do you screen share? I don't see it anywhere on here.
It's the middle button on the three group of button on the bottom left.
Just to the left of the hand of the raise your hand.
Open and close chat?
No.
Nope, that's the left one. You want the middle one.
Yeah, you say share
It looks like a computer.
Screen.
Next to
I
the
got
hand.
raise and lower your hand, and
It's in between that. It's in between those two.
I don't have anything between those two.
Oh, what browser are you using?
Safari. Maybe I need to switch over to let me switch over to Chrome and see if it's a little bit better.
Okay.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. How about you, Mike? Have anything for us?
Sure. Just a second. So this was from the. Whoops. Thought I just shared my. I just thought I just shared the one picture. There we go. So this is the last thing I did that was anything photography related. We rented a mansion down in DC. We had a half dozen models, makeup artists, about 10 photographers, and we had a professional designer that did the clothes and stuff. And so we photographed all day long, all these models in different rooms of this mansion and stuff. And I just like this one because the colors of her outfit really just popped. And I see it.
That's fantastic, Mike.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Very nice.
Mike, did you use a lot of dodging and burning on that, or tell us how you did?
Yeah, I definitely processed it using Dodge and Burn on her and on the surrounding stuff.
Was that on Photoshop or was that?
Yeah, that was Photoshop.
Okay.
How do you get into one of those shoots?
Well, this was a group that used to run out of Southern Maryland, but the person that runs it, Fred's been involved with them. Kelly Schneider, Fine Art. He also came and did a talk for the club last year when they photographed Bridget for us in the club room. But they've moved to Florida now, so I don't know many things they'll do up here anymore.
Hey, Mike, there was another club a couple years ago. Maybe they took over it. Kelly took over, but there was a club that used to come out at least once a month, and they used to email me all the time. And you paid a certain fee to be in their club, and then you paid, when you went. And they had different ones from all over. It's online. I'll find it for you. I never went to any of them. All I did was just look at it and say, "Oh, that's pretty." My place was always the Graffiti Warehouse because of the price.
Yeah, I can't afford to a venue like this. I mean, it was a really nice 100-year-old mansion in the heart of DC. So I can't afford a venue like that. And if I were to do this, I could afford a model and a makeup artist, and that's about it. And then I wouldn't have access to the wardrobe that was available here. So.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's something that you would do on a birthday or something like that. But I have never been to one of those where you had like a whole bunch of models and makeup artists and wardrobes and stuff like that. I've always had just one model and maybe 4 or 5, but it was all.
And this was really well organized. So
they sure
we
are.
divvied it up that there was only 3 photographers shooting any model at any time. So it wasn't like this great big, and we actually, of those 3, we took turns. It was your turn to pose the model, direct the model, everything like that, to do the lighting, all that stuff, as opposed to some of these things you go to, some of these meetups where it's just like a paparazzi shoot off, and you can't get anything good out of that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Normally what I do is I go to the Graffiti Warehouse and I bring all my equipment. It takes me about an hour to set up and about 45 minutes to tear down. So I'll run across like 4 or 5 models and just have a good old time with it. That's how I end up doing a bunch of models at one time. That's as far as I go, actually.
But that's it.
Thanks for sharing, Mike. How about the Webbers?
And then I have a story to go with his picture, something we excitedly got to experience yesterday.
Okay, I will show you a black and white picture from 50 years ago.
Hold on, technical difficulties. We have 2 screens here. There you go.
I wanted to show it full screen so you can do it. No. No.
Shut it down over here.
I can't, then there's no image.
Oh.
So this is.
See if they can see it. Can you see the image?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is basically a Christmas tree, believe it or not, in Nigeria, where my family lived at that time. My mother always insisted we were going to have a Christmas tree, come hell or high water, so we made do with what we could find, and that's what we got. A little unusual, but there you go.
That's great.
Wow.
The other image is what we had last night, just after sunset. A falconer basically was training his falcon.
His Harris Hawk.
Harris Hawk, rather. And
she left him. She took off, and has been spending the last 4 days, based on various reports, trying to track her down and get her to cooperate. And an 8-year-old boy up the street saw her. She has a strap on her leg as well as the bells, so he could hear it. And then he saw her in our woods, So he came home and told his mother. She tracked down a phone number on Howard County Lost Pets. And anyway, the guy came down with his treats and tricks to try to coax her home. And she just wouldn't cooperate. So apparently she spent the night in our woods.
This picture is 12,000 ISO 1/15th of a second. It's sometime after dusk, which is why it's a bit grainy, etc. It's likely got anything, in fact.
But it was very exciting. In addition to seeing all this unfold, he had called his friend, I suppose, who's a drone photographer. So we were talking to him and we got his business card. They were hoping that the drone could be launched that would help track her. But he was able to visually track her in our trees. And actually, she was in the tree in our front yard for a while, but she picked another one to later just settle down and go to sleep for the night. And he was supposed to come back this morning at daybreak and try again. And I haven't followed up whether he succeeded or not.
Wow.
But it was very exciting. You could hear him whistle, you could hear him jingling his bells, and the hawk just wouldn't cooperate.
Now, just because I had a lot of feedback while you guys were talking, I
So
muted
had
every.
it been earlier in the evening or the afternoon, we would have dragged out the camera and tripod and really made an effort to photograph her, but the lighting was so bad.
Now, what I did was I had to mute everybody because I was getting a lot of feedback when you guys were talking. So anybody that wants to comment on Bob and Susan's image, please make sure to unmute yourself. And then what we'll do is we'll have you mute yourself back down because noise and echo cancellation only works so much.
Bob, what kind of hawk was that?
It's called a Harris hawk.
What are they native to? Where are they at? I guess you're not supposed to end the sentence in
Harrisburg?
But no, but it's not from around here, is it?
I don't know. He has them in cages at his house. He's a licensed falconer who trains them and uses them in hunting. And I'm not sure hunting what, but that's what the drone guy told us.
Right. We've never heard of a Harris hawk before.
I have.
Oh, all right.
So, we have some resident red-shouldered hawks in our backwoods. So apparently this bird wasn't afraid of it, or maybe different species kind of stay away from each other unless they're fighting over the same mouse, or I don't know. But
Wingspan's about 2.5 feet.
Wow.
So it's quite big.
That's fantastic. Thanks, guys, for sharing.
A quick Wikipedia search: the Harris's hawk, native from the American Southwest all the way down to Chile and Argentina.
Oh. So he's further south, mostly.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't freeze to death.
yeah, that's why he desperately wanted her back, because his original posting about the lost bird was in Next Door Neighbors, and I was following that conversation, and he was saying yesterday that she won't do well in the bitter cold that was coming, so he wanted her back. But I mean, it wasn't anything he did wrong. She just decided to be ornery and not cooperate. But I haven't gone back to the conversation to see if he announced that he successfully captured her. And we were definitely not up at daybreak to go look outside and see if his truck was there.
It's notable for its behavior in hunting cooperatively in packs, while other raptors often hunt alone. So they're social in that sense. And high intelligence, easy to train. And they're a popular bird for use in falconry.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the Wikipedia.
This bird does have a mate back at his property, which is only about 2 miles down the road from us, so not far, in the Ellicott City area. So he has a pair of them, and whether they're a pair because he wants to breed them, or they cooperate well, or they like the socialization of each other, I'm not sure what the whole story is, but it's interesting that we have this guy in our community.
That's great. Thanks for sharing, guys. Ed, do you have something to share for us? Go ahead and make sure to unmute your microphone. That little microphone icon on the bottom to the left of the hang up button. Actually, it looks like you already got it.
Say something.
Can you see that?
Yep.
I hear
No,
you,
we can't see
but I
it.
don't
We
see
hear you.
anything
Well,
yet.
I have a story to tell you about this.
I don't
I
see it
was
yet,
in
Ed.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
I was in Oahu and I wanted to go on a photographic tour. So I signed up, but then they said, "You're the only one signed up." So I says, "Well, I want to go on." He says, "Well, you have to pay for two." So I paid for two. So I had a private tour of the island, and I took this picture. And when you do it in a canvas, it looks like it's an oil painting. The waves just pop out at you. This suds and everything. And I think the reason is because I use my little tiny camera that takes +3, -3, and normal and adds them together. And
Yeah. We
anyway,
can't see the picture right now.
when we had the exhibition at the church, Mr. Tupper from NASA, he got it for his daughter. So I took it down, sold it for $100, took it down to his house, and I said, "You work for NASA?" I said, "We need somebody to talk to our Knights of Columbus about the new telescope." He said, "I can do it for you." So, so he gave an hour and a half talk on the new telescope, which was great. So this picture has a big story to it. It's a wonderful story to it.
Can you let's try to get that photo up on the screen, Ed, because we don't see it.
You don't see it.
No. Go ahead and go to your sharing screen, and then when you click the sharing screen button, it's going to give you another option. You've got to choose something.
Oh. Share. Oh. I guess I'm not doing something right. Wait a minute. Over here. Share your screen. Oh, well.
Is there a little box up there that asks you what to share? It took me a couple of minutes to figure out that I had to go actually.
Oh, is that it?
It didn't have a default. You had to go in there and select. You can
Oh.
there it is.
Nice.
There it
that's-
is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry it took so long to figure
That's
that
okay.
out.
That's the one you had hanging in Woods Church, wasn't it?
I know, yes. And that's
It's a great
Mr.
picture.
Tupper bought it for his daughter. And I went to his house. I told you this story, and he gave a talk to our Knights of Columbus on the new telescope. He's a chief engineer. He's a chief engineer at NASA.
Wow.
So
That's a great photo.
what's wonderful is when you meet people. People are great, you know, and it's wonderful how people can share and help you out. So this is a guy that was able to share his knowledge with us and talk about the new telescope. Yeah, so I'm really happy about that.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening. I sure do appreciate it. And I wanted to tell you that I really love being part of this photography club. Everybody is so wonderful and helpful. And the reason why I joined is I used to pay a lot of money to go on these tours with National Geographic and different places, you know. I said, why not join a local camera club? And then once a month you can go out and see the different places. So that's why I joined initially. But I love coming to the meetings and meeting everybody and sharing pictures and everything.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Ed.
Yeah.
We certainly love having you there as well, and we can't wait until we can meet in person again.
Yeah. And I really enjoy going on vacations to take pictures of myself, you know. And I remember I've never been to Chicotek Island. So before we went to Ocean City, I decided to go there for 3 days. We got a motel room, and Betty and I went there and explored everything and saw the birds, the horses, and went to the beach. And it was just wonderful. I like to explore new places, So that was neat. Another thing I want to do is I want to go to Iceland, and sit in the hot water and look out and see the northern lights. That's
Ooh,
another thing I want to do. That's on my bucket list.
that
And I
sounds
also
good.
want to go to Africa and take my grandson there on a safari. So I got a couple more things I like to do.
That's great, Ed. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
I'm
Well,
sure you will do them.
Stop sharing.
there you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great. Doug, you're next if you have something for us. Make sure to unmute your microphone first and then use the share screen button.
Okay, so I missed the requirements. Is this supposed to be something current or is it just anything interesting?
Just a show and tell. Show us something cool.
Okay. If somebody else left to go, okay.
If you need some time, we can get Chuck to go next.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Okay. Go ahead and mute your microphone back up, and we'll come back to you after Chuck.
Okay. See if I can make this go smoothly. And wow.
Whoa.
Are you all seeing that?
We are.
Whoa.
How did I do that?
That's that Doctor Who effect, right?
It
This
sounds
is
like
what I was, this is
leading
what I was
lines, huh?
trying to share.
Leading lines.
Are you seeing this now?
Mushroom?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so that's what I was going to share, and that's the shot I got on a photo workshop with Ian Plant back in October, socially distanced. There was only 3 of us, and drove our own cars and this and that. And we took one afternoon just to photograph in some woods, and I kind of wanted to talk about that in conjunction with favorite photo gizmo. Can I go to that?
Absolutely.
Okay, where do I stop sharing screen?
On the bottom of the screen should be a stop sharing button. There you go.
Okay, and so I got that using a $39 phone case that turns my that goes to my iPhone 11, that turns the 1x lens into a 10x macro.
Ooh.
And the 2x into a 20x macro, and you can slide it, and it does other things like turns the 2x into a 4x, so kind of telephoto. But the macro was especially fun because I could use it with those mushrooms and just turn it upside down like this and shoot. And so you get looking up at a mushroom on the ground, trees and things like that in the background. So
How big was that mushroom?
oh, I don't know, about like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Maybe an inch and a half to 2 inches high.
Fantastic macro. I would never have believed that was a cell phone shot.
Yeah. So
Chuck, is that only for iPhones or can you use it on other phones?
I suspect that the maker of it makes them for other models.
Do you have a manufacturer name, Chuck?
Ulanz, ULANZ. I got it through B&H.
Ulanzi, Ulanzi. They have a bunch of clip-on lens kits.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, and I see your model, the multi-phone camera lens kit for iPhone 11.
Yeah, I suspect they have them for other phones.
They make good optics because for our drone and our little handheld pocket 4K camcorder, it's got like a wide angle. It's the same brand name, and they actually make pretty good optics. So that's wild.
Hey, John, send out a link to that, would you please?
I will send out. I will put it in. Let's see, where can I put that? I'll put it in chat here. And to access chat, you're going to go to the bottom left, far left. You're going to see like a chat window. I'm going to pop that in there, and that'll get you to the device that Chuck talked about, the iPhone 11 case. And
I'm
I'll
gonna put it on
also
the Facebook one.
I'll put it
You
in
put it on the
Facebook,
Facebook one. Everybody will see it.
and I just put it in Facebook chat as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Really appreciate it. Mary Lou, you're up next. Go ahead and make sure to unmute your microphone.
Yeah.
You got it.
Okay. I didn't pick my most beautiful photo. I actually picked a photo I'm working on and failing at. I think I failed. Let me just go ahead and share it. Okay, share screen. Okay. Can I make it bigger? It's just kind of small. Okay. I think mine's going to do the same thing.
It's not even up yet.
Okay.
Now, you have the option to share a screen, or you have the option to share a program.
Oh.
Share the program won't show everything behind the screen and do the Doctor Who effect usually.
Okay. This just says share your screen when you first push that first button, and it says your entire screen.
But there should also be an application, right? Okay.
Yeah, application window.
Right?
Do I push that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Can I go to it on my regular computer?
Yes. That's not good. I was trying to get in there to help you out and trying to tell you what to push, but I couldn't mute. Couldn't mute another instance for some reason.
So you're seeing it now, right?
No.
Oh, I'm seeing it. Okay, let me come back.
That box up there, you have to share the specific application.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, here it is. I picked it. Okay, here we go.
There you go.
There it is.
Okay, so I had a session with a nude model in and she was very beautiful, but I didn't want to do anything other than art, and I really wanted to wrap this light around her and just get that one line. And I don't know if it was the exposure or I'm not sure what I did wrong, but for one thing, there's a lot of, when you look, I shouldn't be pixel peeping, but it just didn't turn out the way I wanted. I had to do a lot of this in Photoshop, and when I do it in Photoshop, because the background was basically gray, it wasn't black, so I had to go make it black myself. So that's why you see the lines.
Tell us about the studio and the lighting setup, Mary Lou.
I wasn't doing the lighting. It was the studio that used to be, I can't remember what it was. Mike, I think.
Right.
That guy Mike. I know that Fred's been there before. It's where they bring in, you can have a model, and they can bring in clothes, and they do the lighting for you.
Yeah.
You're talking about Severin. Correct. Severin.
It used to be run by a guy named Mike.
Right. Now his wife runs it.
Yeah, so that's that studio. And so that's one of the hard parts, was I really wasn't doing the light myself, but we worked really hard on it, and I guess it was the wrong exposure, because in my camera it looked totally black and just that one line was showing.
Can you show us the original image, Mary Lou?
Yeah, let's see.
Because if the background was gray, either you were too overexposed or they had the light set up wrong, maybe a little funky.
Okay, let's see here. See if I can find the original.
While you do that, I'm gonna come
Can you
over
see this
here.
screen by any chance?
What's that?
Can you see this screen?
I can, but what I'm going to do is, as you look through that, because I don't need Facebook to strike us twice in 2 weeks, so I've got you in a thumbnail. When you have your image picked, I'll go back over to the full screen.
Okay. Okay, I've got it.
Okay, I'll bring it up now.
There are several. Whoops, stop. Here we go.
Okay.
I see what's wrong.
Yeah, the light's kind of in a bad spot.
Yeah, I didn't want her nipple to show, so I, black that out. But anything I blacked out with Photoshop, you know, you could see the line. Let's see how it's still got that kind of grainy look. So what's that from?
Well, what I would do is the light. Did you have a grill on it at all?
No,
You
no.
need a grill on it, and it needs to be lower, and you need to get lower. So what
Okay.
you're going to do is you're taking that light and scraping it right over top of the body.
Yeah. And usually the thinner the thinner you've got, the better. Christine likes shooting them, and we have a 3x1, and even that's too much. So Christine just bought a set of LED lights that are probably what, 2 inches wide,
Something like that, yeah.
and we haven't had a chance to use them. But yeah, Fred's right. You've got to scrape them right across the skin. It's too high. I think you're getting a little bit of ghosting on the skin, because I don't know if that's because the light is in a bad spot or what, but I see a lot of ghosting right on the edge. That's just not.
Oh, you mean here and here?
Yeah, well, the ghosting on the difference between the light skin and the black background.
Right.
Do you see
I
it?
tell you what.
Can I pop in on that?
Yes, sir.
I just went through a tutorial that showed you how to get rid of that. What you need to do is you make a mask, and basically, if you make the mask, and then you can sample the background color, and then paint in on those jagged pixels, and that will smooth it out.
Huh, I never heard of that.
Yeah, well, that's in Affinity. I can do that in Affinity. So that's what I was thinking on that. You know, there's a way to do it. I don't remember the exact procedure, but that's basically it. You create a mask, let's say the girl, and then you isolate the girl, and then you can paint over the other part, and it doesn't paint over the black somehow. I don't remember exactly what it was, but then if your brush goes over where the girl is, it won't paint black there. It just paints on that layer. Basically, it's a layer you're creating. Okay, so that's an idea. If you want to, what I'll do, I can send you the tutorial. It's for a different program, but I'll lay money that you can do it in Photoshop without any trouble.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'll look it up and I'll send it to you. It's a QuickTime file, and it'll show you how to do that. It runs in Affinity, but the basics are the same. You know, frankly. Okay.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Okay.
The next time you're over there and you do that, make sure you use the 7-inch zoom reflector with a 30-degree grid in it. Put the light lower, and then it'll cause it just to come across there.
Okay, so a 7-inch.
Zoom reflector, which is standard on those alien bees, and she's got a couple grills in there, and ask for a 30. Okay. Take the picture, take it, and when you move it in, move it down, and if you want more of it, move it out and turn it up.
Okay.
And you'll get it, and you won't have to do anything. You'll look black, and when you take the picture, it's going to look like it's in black and white.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
If you see a color like that,
Mhm.
the light's too high.
Okay. All right. You know, I was also, let me go back to the other one. Hold on just one sec. Come here. Oh, I gotta X this out first. And
The technique is called defringing. Defringing.
oh, well, that's what I need for sure.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Here we go. So let's see. I had another question. Oh, you know, I was thinking when I did this of leading lines. Do you think this would fit in that category? And can you tell it's a nude?
I can.
Yeah, I can tell
but I
it's-
don't know what it's leading to. Okay.
I mean, normally a leading line's from the viewer to something.
Right. I thought so, but you know, back when, you know, this was in the summer, you know.
It can also lead you through the picture without going to a specific subject, I think. I think in the examples you showed, there were quite a few of those.
Yeah, in that case, it would be a leading line then.
you put a red rose where her waist is, that would be a point to lead to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or down by her knee.
Yeah.
Sometime 4 or 5 years from now, you'll have another leading line competition. And you'll have plenty of time to work on it.
Yeah, lots of time to work on it. Hopefully I'll get it. Yeah, I was just going for some, more artsy black and white nudes, and she was very used to not doing art. I mean, she was used to, doing, more showing off kind of stuff, which I wasn't interested in. So, but she came around. She definitely came around, and I think she enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah, keep it up, Mary Lou. It's a lot. It's tough. Bodyscapes are tough lighting.
Okay, but this would not be anything to put in a contest.
Depends on what the contest is.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it might be fine. I think really.
It'd be a good abstract, good black and white abstract.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you.
Now, something, Mary Lou, if you keep having problems with getting it edited, then maybe something you might want to do is send an email to members and kind of get a couple people that might be interested. If you're willing to give people temporary use to your raw file and say, hey, would anybody like to try their hand at making this? That could be something that might be helpful for you as well.
I would love to do that. I mean, Fred did that for me once, and it really made a difference. Just actually something I couldn't even see with the diner and the car going through.
Send an email to members and mention to them you've got a Bodyscape artistic nude you'd like to get a couple people's help on, and just have people email you back directly and see where you get.
I'll tell you what you can do is the next time, just get the model again and text me and tell me when you're going to be there, and I'll set up the light for you.
Oh, great. So you'll come over to the studio?
Yeah, I only live like 2 blocks away.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, well, I'll definitely set another one up.
No ulterior motive there.
Yeah. I'm sure there is not an ulterior motive.
No, I've been there a couple times.
This is, what is her name? She's real pretty. Let me just turn this off and I'll tell you her name. You probably worked with her before. Lexi is her name. And,
No, I've worked with her, but I don't usually shoot anymore. Okay. Because I get in too much trouble. So yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah, she's pretty. Yeah. She's good at posing. Okay. Well, then I'm going to stop sharing now.
Okay. Thank you, Mary Lou.
You're
Doug,
welcome.
did you find something? Make sure to unmute your microphone. There you go. Make sure your microphone's unmuted as well, bud. Oh, maybe not. There we go. And you're still muted on my end. There you go.
Okay. So most of my photography is synergistic with my travel. And most of my travel is on foot. So this was the coolest place I've been. And this probably isn't a competition winning photo, but it sure had a neat story and a lot of good memories attached to it. So this was what the locals referred to as the Shy Mistress. And the rest of us call Kilimanjaro. And I was doing a summit climb, and this was a couple days out, and we just happened to go outside the mess tent at dinner, and this thing was just sitting there waiting to be shot.
Very pretty. I love the gold from the sun shining on it.
that only comes out once in a while. That's why it's the Shy Mistress. Is that right?
Yeah, it's usually a cloud cover. Now, at this point, pretty much above the cloud, so we were seeing it. But even then, we snowed in for a couple of days on the trek up. So this was the first time that we got a really good view of her.
Wow.
What altitude are you at when you're doing that?
I don't remember which camp I'm at. We spent 4 days between 13 and 16. So I'm somewhere in that.
I'm wondering if that's why the sky doesn't have the bluish tint. You're up so high that you're not getting all that as much scattering from the sky or something.
Yeah, I'm at 14 plus this point.
Holy moly, that's high.
The summit's 19, 340, 340 something.
Did you?
345.
So are you hiking or climbing?
It's what's euphemistically referred to as a walk-up mountain, which means that there is no technical climbing involved in getting to the top. So I was hiking.
I bet the emphasis is on the up part, though.
It's an amazing.
Yeah,
photo.
we gained 12,000 feet from the start.
Yeah, it's really nice. I think it ought to go into competition.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing you could do is probably put a sky if you don't mind cheating. to put just a little bit of sky in it. But I've been to Pikes Peak, and Pikes Peak's pretty tall, but I don't think it's as tall as that one is.
Pikes Peak's only 14,000.
No, this has got another 5,000 and a few feet on Pikes.
It might look good.
It's got a mile. It's got about a mile on Pikes.
Yeah,
that's a bunch.
It might look good in black and white because then the uninteresting sky wouldn't be such a factor.
Yeah.
I will have to try that. That's a good. And I don't usually. I have not shot thinking about black and white before I joined the club, so I'm always digging for black and whites.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time. I found that black and white competitions weren't not as many people thought about black and white. I spent hours and hours going through my pictures trying to figure out what looks good in black and white and what doesn't. And I haven't really figured it out.
I'm starting to do that. You guys are making me do that, and that's a good thing.
Good.
Christine and I cheat. We shoot mostly black and white anyway, but one of the things I used to do is a yellow filter. If you hold a dark yellow filter on your eye, it kind of gives you a little bit of almost a monochromatic feel to an image, and you get to see if. Or sometimes we'll go out thinking that we're going to shoot black and white only, and we'll use a bunch of different filters there as well.
I've read many recommendations.
I have a couple
from
other
landscape photographers that say
that might be good.
You should go out and just try black and white. It'll make you think more about light.
Yeah, black and white
the
is
quality of the light.
You must have really strong leg muscles.
That's what that beard is for, is to keep his face warm.
Yeah.
All right, well, Doug, thank you so much for sharing.
I can't imagine. Hey, Doug, I can't imagine because last year we went on a driving trip and we drove up Pikes Peak, and my 81-year-old father-in-law, about 2/3 of the way up, he just dropped off unconscious, and we had to turn around and come back down the mountain. We couldn't wake him up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
We had somebody who lost her vision from altitude, and she summited anyway. It was a real trooper.
Wow.
And her husband helped her down, and then we stayed at our base camp at 1,600 feet or 16,000 feet for most of the day, hoping that her vision would come back, and it didn't really. And then we headed back down, and she didn't really get it back down until we went under about 13. Then veneration came back.
Wow.
I had a friend who was into mountain climbing and photography. He tried to go up Aconcagua, and he just desperately wanted to get. He got to about 20,000 feet, and they had to carry him down from there to get him down to where he could breathe again. He just had whatever happens to climbers.
Ed, did you have a comment?
I was in Utah one time, and I was talking to a nurse, and I start to feel really dizzy. And she says, "I'll bring some oxygen over to you." And it's amazing, when I got the oxygen, I felt so much better, and then it lasted me. It lasted me for a long time.
That's good.
No one warned me about that when I went up into the Rockies, and all of a sudden, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know that happened, and I was so sick and dehydrated and everything else. But I finally went back down and got better, but it took a long time.
The guides on this took our pulse and our blood oxygen level every night, and if it had been too low, we would have gotten sent home.
Yeah,
I think
But it was also designed. There's a number of different routes up, and the one that I took was the one that has the highest success rate, and the whole thing was designed to help you acclimate. We spent 2 days at a coffee plantation at a little over 5,000 feet. And then they took us to the trailhead at 7,000. And we went up 2.5 day and a half. We went up steeply and topped out at 16. And a number of us were kind of feeling it then. And then we spent 4 days going across this really pretty, I thought, but barren lava plateau between 13 and 16,000 feet. And we all had 4 days of strenuous exercise to adjust. And then we had at 16 again. And then we got up at midnight and did the ascent to be there for the sunrise.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing.
Can you play Santa Claus for me? You have a great beard.
No, but I'll tell you another one of my hiking stories. So I was hiking out a mountain in North Carolina and went by the trail crew, and they said, "You're an awful long way from the North Pole." And I said, "Where else would I vacation but Grandfather Mountain?" Which is where we were hiking.
That's good.
I'm very familiar with Grandfather Mountain. In fact, my brother-in-law's ashes are there because he always did the marathons straight up the mountain, and he usually won his age group. And so that's where he wanted his ashes scattered, because he went every year for most of his life, his adult life.
That's cool. That I'd like my ashes scattered someplace like that, whether it's Grandfather Mountain or someplace in Zion National Park, which is where my last competition picture was from, or but someplace cool.
Well, that's a very cool hobby.
Thank you, Doug. David, sir, do you have anything for us? You're on mute. Make sure to unmute yourself and let us know if you got something for us. There you go. Oh, no, I think you turned it back on. It went off for a second.
There you go.
Okay. Am I still there?
Yes.
Actually, I don't. I'm sort of this new member, and I joined a number of years ago, but I was taking care of my wife, and she just died in September. So now I'm free to get more involved. So.
Well, we're sorry to hear about that. Well, tell us about, paint a picture of the best photo you ever shot.
Well, I think it's a picture of a pelican in flight that I took many years ago when I was visiting Smith Island. And unfortunately, I don't think I can bring it up, but it'd probably take too much time to find it. what happened is that my wife and I took my sailboat down to Smith Island, and because we were told that they had been dredged, and got down there and had to be all the way at the end of the dock because they didn't dredge any farther in. And in the home where I was connected to it, there was a sign saying, if you want to see Smith Island, call such and such. So my wife called this person, and it turned out to be about an 85-year-old man who's supposedly retired, but was taking people out on this skiff. And so we all went all the way around Smith Island and found this place where the pelicans were. And I got what I thought was some really fantastic pictures of the pelicans. Unfortunately, I was shooting JPEG back then. I didn't, because I didn't really know about anything else. But something I was very proud of.
That's good. You have to share it with us when you get a chance. If you find it, post it to the Facebook group.
But I like to say, there's nothing wrong with shooting JPEG. If you know how to set your camera up to shoot JPEG, you can get some great I mean, although I shoot both, but let me tell you, I've seen some JPEG shots that's will rival any of a raw shot that you want to look at. All you got to do is know how to set your camera up to do it. If you got a camera that will do it.
Yep.
Where's Smith Island?
It's down by Tangier Island, and then Chesapeake Bay. You have to take a boat from Crisfield, and it's right where the Virginia meets Maryland in the Chesapeake Bay. So the next island down is called Tangier Island, and which I also have been there, but
yeah.
But Smith Island is a lot of fun. They have a boat that goes over twice a day, and they have a couple of very good restaurants that are just open for the tourists. So when the boat leaves, the restaurant shuts down. And
I Googled Smith Island, and all that comes up is Smith Island cakes. Are they something special?
Yeah. What the thing is that the Smith Island cake was developed because the families down there, the women would be fixing cakes for their husbands who were going out fishing, and they'd all get too dried out. So what they ended up doing was doing little layers of cake, lots of frosting. It's something like 6 or 7 layers, and the purpose of that was just to keep the whole thing moist.
Yeah, you can only eat a small piece of Smith Island cake at one time. That's really rich. Let's put it that way.
I saw a report that there were more calories in Smith Island cake than bacon wrapped meatloaf.
I believe it.
That's good. Well,
It
thanks
must
for
taste real good if it's got that many.
well, thank you for sharing, David.
Yeah.
We're of course sorry for your
My
loss,
pleasure.
and we hope that you find happiness in getting back into photography with us.
Well, I'm sure going to try.
Good. JC, you're up if you've got something for us. You're muted. Go ahead and make sure you unmute.
Hey, man.
There you go.
I just hit the wrong button here, and I have me on full screen. I have you guys on thumbnails. How did I get back to that now? Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay, there we go. We got it now. Let me make sure that I've been listening to you, but make sure I can do this right now. I have the photo I want to show is in Photoshop, so I'm gonna hit share screen.
Mm-hmm. Should be a
and then
tab
it's
that
gonna
says
go-
application.
application window. Okay, that came up, application window, but nothing came up. So I hit.
Does it say Photoshop in that application window tab?
I guess that is
There's
that
a
the
little
picture?
drop-down menu on there.
Yeah, nothing drops down when I hit it.
Mine
just,
shows the
can I just,
programs that are open, and
can I
you
just
just
pull up? Okay, I'm gonna pull up Photoshop, and then I'm gonna hit,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna hit this right here. Now what I got to do? Now let me say share screen. Oh, did I lose you guys?
nope, you're there.
It's coming up.
Is anything coming up now?
Not yet.
Share. Let me see.
Here we go.
Okay, we see something here.
Yeah. Okay. Am I supposed to see it also?
Yeah, it pops up on your screen. At least mine did.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I have everything up on my screen here. Let me just open this. Do you all see the picture there? It's a white.
We see the thumbnails.
You don't see the big picture, huh?
No.
Just maybe click it.
Double click on it.
Okay, I just did. Let me go back out of it again. I knew I was gonna.
There you go.
There it goes.
I think.
Maybe.
Let's have a black screen.
Oh yeah, black.
Have a black screen now?
Hmm.
Yeah.
It takes me to screw up everything, doesn't it?
Eh. You'll figure it
let's
out.
go back. Let's go try it again. Go back, go to Photoshop. Click on the picture that I want to share, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably
double click it. I just did. Now I see the picture on my screen.
Yeah, I think what you're sharing is instead of sharing Photoshop, you're sharing your Explorer window there.
Right.
Okay. So what I got to come back out of it and.
Now something you can do is just hit stop sharing, and just share your window. When you share your window, we're going to see you, and it's going to do that Doctor Who thing. But then you bring up your Photoshop, and we'll see what you see on your main screen.
Okay. Now share what now?
Just share your main window.
Screen.
Mm-hmm.
Main window, yeah.
But hit share screen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I just hit share screen. Now what do I do? Just hit share again, right?
Let me double check.
For Windows,
JC,
it
do you
says
see the
entire screen.
Share your entire screen. Okay.
Okay.
I'll hit.
JC, do you have Photoshop? Do you see Photoshop itself by itself right now?
Nah.
Okay, make sure the Photoshop is running, and make sure the picture is in Photoshop.
Yeah, it is. That's where I got it.
Now
I got I have the picture in. Okay, I got Photoshop is up running on my desk right now.
Now, in your share your screen option, it says your entire screen, right?
I thought I was going to be able to get this. Okay, I'm going to go this one more time.
Okay.
Share screen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have the share screen up there.
It should say your entire screen with a blue line under it, right?
Let's see.
Now,
your entire screen with a blue line on it, right?
Now, underneath of it, you're going to see a pictorial representation of your screen. You need to click on that.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And when you click on it, it'll actually kind of put a little red box around it, and then you hit the share button.
I see a little screen on top of you guys.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna hit that screen.
Hit
Now
that.
I hit that screen.
Hit share.
And now I hit share now.
Uh-huh. Okay, and now bring your Photoshop up.
Okay, here we go. Now bring my Photoshop up.
I love that effect.
It's very cool.
Okay, now my Photoshop is coming up. Okay.
And I'll bring us back into here until I see you're ready.
Okay, just a minute, it's coming up. Okay, now I can go open my picture.
Right.
I go open. Oh, my passport, flowers. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, not those. Flowers, food. Okay, just a minute. Bear with me for a minute. Yeah, flowers. Fort Smallwood. Okay, dokie. I think I'm here. Double click the picture I want to share. Okay, did you have it now?
Yes.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, dokie. Now, okay. Yeah, the story about this picture right here is nothing special about it, but it's just the way I found them. I found a whole bunch of them. Matter of fact, I showed one of the other ones that I took, and it got an honorable mention in the club, one of the other one. And what happened, I go to Fort Smallwood Park trying to find some deals. Just this summer, been trying to find stuff to shoot because you can't get out of, you can't leave home. And on the way back from Fort Smallwood Rock Park, there's a golf course on the right hand side when I'm coming back, and right at that golf course, there was a whole bunch of wildflowers out there. I mean, they were just beautiful. And so I went down the road, turned around, came back, and I parked right on the roadside, took my camera out, and started photographing flowers. And everybody started honking and almost wanted to stop. I guess they wondered what this fool out here doing, taking pictures of flowers. But I took all of these pictures with my, I didn't use my macro lens. I used my 200 to 500. And, this the minimum focus distance, something like, I think, was it 7 feet or something like that. So I was able to get the whole flower in the screen without any background or whatsoever. And I put a digital frame around it, and in this macro flower, and I'm in this macro club, and I sent it to them like this with their frame around it. And I think I got somewhere like, some of the most hits that anybody had ever gotten, and they own this particular flower here. So that's the story behind it. Just driving along the road and saw some flowers on the side and decided to get out and photograph them because I didn't have anything else to do.
Beautiful.
So now I can stop sharing, right?
Any other thoughts on this image?
I have a thought. Can you hear me?
Yes.
There's my mic. Yeah. What's so beautiful about it is it looks like gauze coming out. It looks angelic because, it looks like material or something.
And I have another one it just rained that day, so they was little, and when wildflowers get wet like that, and especially these little thin flowers, they look a little not so good sometime. And the other one was this one right here, and I worked on this, but I haven't finished working on it yet. It's not anywhere near ready yet. Let me see, can I find it here? Get your page right quick. You see that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's another one taken in the same place at the, there was a whole bunch of wildflowers out there. So I just started taking pictures of wildflowers and everything. So
I like the fly on it.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little fly on it. Yeah, I thought that was cute. I didn't even see him when I tell you the truth. When I was photographing their flower, I didn't even see the fly up there. But when I got it in the computer, I said, oh wow, that's a fly. That was an added bonus there. And you can see the little water drops on them because they are kind of wet there. It just rained. Or just after the dew that morning or something like that. But I like shooting our nature. I like shooting nature. I do. I like shooting macros, and I just like to be out in the nature and shoot between nature and animals. That's what I love to shoot. Been to Conowingo twice this year, and plan on going back. I haven't got the picture Conowingo that I really want yet. And Mike, yes, I'm going to send my pictures in tonight. Okay. Okay, that's all I have.
JC, go back to the original photo, the first photo you showed.
The first one.
I'll tell you right now, that fake frame is I think taken away from a beautiful image.
Okay, let me show it to you without the frame on it. Here you go.
I mean, I'm a big fan of matting it in either white or putting a white border around it.
Yeah, I know, right.
But I think that blue is really taken away from it. Yeah.
Oh,
There
yeah.
it is. There it is without the frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
You can see the top of it where it was wet up there at the very top. You can see where the water was coming through it and everything, and on the right hand side, you can see some water drops on it over there also.
Now, still mat it with a white mat with like a cream core.
Yeah.
But that's
playing around with it. That's the reason I kept a copy like this, without the mat being around in case I want to do something else with it and everything,
Very nice.
So it sounded like you indicated you used a long lens here, and we're 7 or 8 feet away. Is that how you've had so many great flower images? Is that a typical method you use?
Yeah, I either use I have a Sigma 105 macro, and I have my 200 to 500. Like I say, it's 7. It's the minimum focus distance is like 7 feet, and so when I can't get to it with my macro lens, I'll use that long lens, and I can get almost the same effect. Matter of fact, I have to shoot at such high f-stop with that macro lens to get the proper depth that I want. But with the long lens, you don't have to shoot at such high or f-stop in order to get the depth that you want because you're further away from it. You know, you're in that macro lens, you're right on top of it. You really got to get up that 16, 22, even 32, even 40 sometimes to get the proper depth you want, unless you're completely parallel with it. You know, you have to be almost completely parallel with it in order to get the depth that you want.
Right.
I love the way you've cropped it.
Thank you. Yeah, I haven't shown these at the club yet. I probably won't show these. You know, I just love them. You know, they're beautiful, and I love all the detail. I really love the detail that lens picks up in that lens picks up. You know.
Well, I'll tell you what, JC, this would be a perfect leading lines for me.
Yeah. I love the stars in the yellow. You can see the little, it looks like a lot of mini stars right there in the center with like the silkiness, like Mary Lou said, coming out of it. This is a great image.
Yeah, and the one that I showed the other day, Lena, which one was it? This one right here. I know I'm showing more images. You're only supposed to show 2 images. This one right. Was it this one that I showed? I'm not for sure. Let me see which one was it. Copy, JP. This one right here. Was it this one that I showed? I think I got an honorable mention for it. Let me see, it's coming up. That one right there. That's at the same area there.
Now you mirrored that, right?
Yeah, that's a mirror right there. You can tell it at the top of it right there. I cut it right and I cut it right in half and mirrored that one right there to get those 2 little green repelled at the top. That's what I wanted up there.
Gotcha.
I wanted that to be there. So that's a mirror strip right down through the middle there.
Right.
But it was sharp all the way through, but I wanted to get those little green, those little green spots at the top of it right there. I wanted something like that to show up on it.
Very nice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, JC. There. Who do we have next? We have Lewis next. What do you have for us, Lewis?
Did I stop sharing yet?
You did.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, now I'm back.
Okay.
Mr. Woods isn't asleep, is he?
I'm awake. Everybody hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
All right, here we go. I got one shot I've been working on, but let me try and share screen first. Let's see what goes on here. Wait a minute. And that should work. All right, hang on. All right, now. Okay, now let me pull this over. Can everybody see that in the application?
Right.
All right. Well, I haven't been able to get out very much, so I've been really getting bored and trying to find stuff to shoot. So I walked out on my back deck one morning, and it was foggy, so there's a lot of trees behind the house. So I took a shot of it, and I didn't really think too much about it. But then the other day, I just kind of like felt like fooling around. So this is really like an abstract art piece, but in order to get this, let me switch images here. Wait a minute, let me look at this. I'm trying to, these are all the different versions. Let me see here. All right, that's what I had to do with this. I'm still learning this program, Affinity, but these are all the layers that I have in here. I inverted the photograph. I added some filter adjustments. I added some selective color. I fooled around with the HSL. I adjusted the shadows a little bit, and I fooled around with levels. And that's what I ended up with. Actually, when I did the inversion, that's when it kind of like worked. But what actually had happened here, if you compare these two, you'll see that this is straight. I went into another section of the program and I just twirled this just a little bit. And I thought that kind of made it a lot more interesting. It's kind of fun. The only thing that I made a mistake on was I cut off that top of that tree. That doesn't work. That would dump me out of a contest for sure. So that's what I've been kind of working on. I haven't been able to go out too many places. So I was kind of desperate to find something to shoot. So there you go. That's my latest wonderful little image.
I'll bet if you cut off a little bit more, it would look like you're doing it on purpose. And it's when you just cut off the tips that judges are going to get it. But if it's clear that you're...
Well, let's try that. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Well,
you're not intending.
No, that kind of bothers me, to tell you the truth.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah. So,
you can also add to the top just that dark color. Just extend the canvas size a little bit bigger, and then do a content
All
aware
right.
fill.
Let me pull this in a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you need to get rid of what you just did.
You're not sure about the content aware fill, but I mean, even if you did like Rich said and made more blue up top, and then you go in there with a clone tool and kind of, if you selectively hit those branches,
right.
it
Yes,
may look
you're
natural.
Right. Yep, you're
I
right.
usually start with content aware fill when I want to get a little extra
Yeah.
sky, and then I have to fiddle.
There we go. I got it back again. Well, that's the old one. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, that'll work.
I've done that to a number of pictures where I screwed up.
Yeah, in this program, I don't think it has actually content aware, but it does use the clone brush, so that would work anyway.
Yeah.
But I like this program. But this is what all the stuff I went through. This took about 2 hours of fooling around. But this one is this is actually what I ended up with those little squiggly. So I thought they were kind of pretty.
It was a striking image when I saw it, and amazing. Good job on the twirl, because I usually editing tool marks stick out like a sore thumb. I didn't even notice that.
This is the section where you can do the twirls. Here's all the different kind of twirls you can apply to the screen, and this is a grid right here. So yeah, I'm happy with it. It seems to work pretty well, and it makes more sense to me. To be honest with you, it makes more logical sense to me than Photoshop. I've been trying to learn Photoshop for years, but and they also have really excellent tutorials also, and they're made up of small sections. So you don't like go through a whole long process of just creating something. Most of the tutorials are just little chunks, so you can kind of absorb them and then go on to the next step. Wow. I think in the I'm going to go out of this if I can figure out how to do it. And we were talking about having our favorite items to show on this little talk. Is that it?
I thought we would go back through real quick.
All right, I'm back now. Wait a minute, I'm still showing. Something's messed up there. Uh-oh.
Go to stop sharing at the bottom.
Yeah, stop sharing.
The little blue thing down there.
Yeah, all the way on the bottom, above your little icons. There you go.
There you go.
You're back.
I'm back? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, there we go. Anyway, are we showing favorite equipments?
We're gonna go through one more time real quick.
Oh, all right. Okay, fine.
Okay, and I'll go real quick. I'm the only one that's got lo-fi here, and this is something that Christine and I've been working on for a while now, and we usually make 11 by 14 copies, and what we do is we get these old patent prints, so it's not really a photograph; it's more of a composite, but this is the stuff we've been creating lately in the darkroom. And we usually get these patent prints that are photography related or Civil War related or steampunk related. And then we make these, and I make a digital negative for them. I code them in the darkroom, and then we make these sheets here. And these are this, and then another design I'm working for. It's going out to our supporter through our supporter holiday cards this year. And that's something that we've been having a lot of fun with, because it's so easy to coat pretty much any process and do it in the darkroom.
If anyone wants to see this full screen, just click on his picture.
Oh, I can click
and
on
it'll
myself.
go full screen.
That'd probably be the way to go. If I do that, you should be able to see it. But that's what we've been doing. We actually do quite a bit of these a year when we do the steampunk and the Civil War stuff, just because this is an 1842 process, the cyanotype blue. And we've been slowly adding to our shots and things, and what I'll do is I take the patent print and I redesign it, I clean it up, and I've got to make the lines a little bit bigger, so I kind of redraw it in places, and then I print a negative and I print the prints out for her. But that's my share.
That's cool. That's neat.
Thank you. Christine, let's go through real quick. It's already 20 to 9. Let's go through real quick. And what did you bring to show for photographic stuff?
brought my mini digital Petsful lens. So this is my new toy that I've been playing around with off and on. It looks we get the brass ones because they look more like the originals. And
now, why is this important? Why is it called a Petsful?
It's one of the earlier lenses that has multiple parts to it, and it was made by a gentleman whose last name was Petzel. And
we use these with all of our wooden cameras in our normal shooting, but this is actually a Nikon F mount.
And what's cool is that we can your aperture are aperture rings that you can slide in. And I have multiple of them, all different sizes. And if you want to, there are even some special shapes that come with it, that like hearts and stars, and there's a maple leaf, which can this adds something to your pictures called bokeh. So it has swirling around the outside, so you have to try to make sure that what you're shooting is, and what you want in most focus is in the center. And then it has different steps that you can do as to how big that swirl is and how little it is. I've really had fun playing around with this.
Put a couple of them on the Facebook group. Maybe find an image that you did a test of without it and with it. Maybe do a share on that.
Okay.
Okay. Who do we have next? Rich, did you bring anything for us?
Yes. You know, on the bottom of your camera, you've got the little thing where you attach the bracket like this for the Arca Swiss. What I have is an L bracket. So I now attach this to the camera, assuming I can get it in the right place, and screw that in the same way. And it has a bracket along here, but when I want to shoot in portrait mode instead of landscape mode, all I have to do is loosen the camera, take it out, and screw it back in. I don't have to take the tripod and slide the slot down to try to take portrait mode. And so this has made it much easier for me when I think I want to do a portrait mode. When I'm out shooting landscape, I can just mount the camera this way on the tripod, and it's got a bracket right there.
That's really clever. And it doesn't block any of the doors on the left of the camera, does it?
I bought the cheap one, and I have to take it off to get the battery out, but that's not very often. Mm-hmm. It gets this one, because I bought the cheap one. It's not exactly designed for this camera, so the I don't have quite the full motion of the flip screen. So actually, if I spent if I'd spent the money for the more expensive one that's designed for this specific camera, then it would be there. So this is sort of a catch-all. It was about $25 or $30 instead of $100 and something.
Wow.
And the $100 and something, I don't know what it looks like, but I assume what it's doing is it's not going to have this little ridge sticking out, which gets a little bit in the way. You can also, if you want to get that out of the way, I can slide it like this so that it sticks out a little bit, and so then the camera sits here, and that frees up the space over here, and it also frees up the thing. And so anyway, I've noticed a lot that when I'm taking landscape pictures, that I don't think I take enough in the portrait direction. I think there's an awful lot of pictures that really call for that portrait direction, and this has made it so I actually take them. I don't have to sit there and get my camera down, and it gets in the way because I don't have maybe the best ball head on my thing. So I like that little added device.
Yeah, Rich, I'll tell you, those things are worth their weight in gold. I have, because doing a lot of macro, you really need it. So I have one. I got lucky with mine. I was at a service photo one day, and I was looking at one, and God told me, hey, we have one here. I said, you've been selling it for like $49. It was a really right stuff. Oh my God, that
Oh yeah,
thing,
they're the
really right stuff is expensive, but let me tell you, they are worth it. I tell you, that thing is great. It
yeah.
fits exactly. You don't even know it's on your camera.
Yeah, mine fits fine, but it gets in the way a little bit of things. But it's still a huge improvement over having to do it by using the ball head and tilting it downward.
And that's Arca Swiss, right?
Yeah. This is all Arca Swiss compatible.
Yeah, we're thinking about moving from Manfrotto's release plates to Arca Swiss.
I don't know what Manfrotto looks like, but my original release plate was a circle with a thing, and that wouldn't work so well on this. The Arca Swiss works very well with this idea.
I like my Arca Swiss ball head. It's really nice. It's actually it's not the ball head, it's the plate.
No, it's the plate. It's this guy.
Right. Yeah, I love
but
that.
instead of that little guy, the L bracket, and I saw it in a lot of videos from landscape photographers saying, you're in there, you're taking this picture, and you need to take it soon. You need to set it up. This will save you all kinds of work. So it's one of my favorite recent additions that's fairly cheap. I should have bought the $100 one though.
Great. Thank you, Rich. Fred, you have something for us? Make sure to unmute your microphone.
Mike's already left, huh?
Oh, I think we did lose him.
Well, anyway, I was going to show you this. I was going to show you this thing over here, but I'm going to show you. Somebody asked about this. Let me make sure it's on. Can you see that, or do I have to do something? You see the little dot in there? You see it?
Mm-hmm.
See
yeah.
It?
Yeah.
Okay. With this thing is 4. Okay. This is actually for a pistol. Okay. And I mount that to the camera by using this. And this is like a $12 item. Okay. It sits a little loose in there, but if you put it to one side, it's fine. Then I put this in there, and I have a red one and a green one that I can turn in. This costs about $20. And what happens is when you're shooting wildlife with a 600 and it's popped out to 900, it's hard to find. It's hard to find the object in your, what you're shooting without zooming in and out. So with this, what you do is you zero it out just like you did if you were in the Army, just like an M16 would, and you would zero it out, and you have a up and you have an up and a right, and just like the M16, they got smart, but they didn't do it on this one. Up means down on this, and right means left. But on a 16, they fix it for you. Anyway, make a long story short, you zero it out, and let's say my lens doesn't go in and out. It's all within itself, so you don't have to worry about the weight. You don't have to worry about the thing. So I set it at 600. So I go out to about if I'm at the dam over there, about out to the dam itself, and I have an object that I get on. So I zero it out that I know that when I hit the button on the camera for focusing, this red dot, this green dot or red dot is on that target.
Huh.
So I could keep my eyes open. So what I do is I have a mirrorless camera, so I have the back screen all the way up to bright sunlight. Okay, that you're in the sunlight, so you see it just like you would on the thing. As soon as you see the bird, you grab them and put it on there, and then you look down and you keep them in the frame. Now, when I first started to use it, I couldn't keep it in the frame. In one picture, I was out of the frame a little bit, but I had all 425 focal points on. Okay, so what it's going to do, it's going to track that bird. So before, when you go out to shoot, when you're at 900 millimeter, you cannot find that. At least I can't find it. But with this little thing of theirs, you can find it, and you can just follow right along with it, and it's a piece of cake. And,
they are worth a lot.
Right, but the ones for Olympus I think they're only like $100 and some bucks, but they fit they fit it real good, and you can do it by hand. As in this one, what you have to do is you have to use an Allen wrench. As in the other one, you can use your fingers. But once you get that, it's like training wheels, and once you understand how it works, and once you may not have to use it for a while, but it works for me. I mean, like last time I was out there, I had a tremendous amount of ones that were in focus, and I shot a hell of a lot. I shot, I think, 1,940 rounds.
Mm.
Because that thing is just like when that bird comes right at you. I mean, especially at Congolingo, when he's down low and he starts coming up, you're following the whole way, and you're just firing and hope you get something. And with this, you haven't got enough time to go look inside your viewfinder. I mean, you could do it, but you only get like 2 or 3. But on the other way, I'll get 15, 20 of them.
What's this called again? What is it again?
It's actually used for a pistol. Okay. Now this is a cheap version, but the one that you buy on Amazon. The one you buy for the cameras, the Nikon is called this is called a red dot. Okay.
Yeah.
The one on the Nikon is fits it real nice, and also the Olympus one, and you can actually adjust it with your fingers. As in with this one, I have to use that Allen screw.
All right. So what's it actually called?
A red dot.
Yeah, red dot.
If I just search Amazon, it'd be a red dot. Is that it?
Yeah.
But you need the adapter, because that's called it's called a Picatinny rail for the rifles. And it's sad that Fred's one is getting loose, because mine came right off the cold shoe, and I haven't fixed it yet. But eventually mine broke off.
Well, this is metal. Okay, if it breaks, the camera's going to break. But the problem is this doesn't fit my camera real tight. But if I take it and I turn it to one side and get it tight and don't mess with it, okay, and just zero it out and it doesn't take much to zero it. Once you get it zeroed, you don't have to touch it. Now, if you take it off, you're going to have to re-zero it every time. But I can re-zero this thing in probably 30, 40 seconds. Because once you understand how it works, it's a piece of cake. But the one to buy is the one for the Olympus.
Yeah. The one for Olympus, Fred. The one for Olympus is called the Olympus EE1 Spot. Olympus EE1 Spot. And I think they're like $139. I think they are $125 and $39.
I was playing with Mike's, and that's a nice.
About $170, $180.
Right. This one was, like I say, it was $21. It's used for a pistol. They make them in black, but it just so happened they didn't have the black one, so I took that one. Yeah. And the whole thing was like $40. Not even that.
So if I searched on Amazon, what would I search for again?
I'll tell you what. I'm going to put a link over, and I'll put a link to it in Facebook.
I looked. It's dot tracker is what comes up.
I'll get it in Amazon for you, and I'll put it right on the thing. Okay.
Olympus EE1 Spot.
I mean, I really liked it because I just couldn't figure out how these guys were hitting this thing all the time. And I said, I know you got to be good, but you can't be that good to hit it all the time.
Yeah, because my one lens goes out to 800 millimeter, and it gets really tight. So, yeah, if you're going to put it up on, there it is. Okay.
Well, that's mine. That's the one I have, which is I think it's very similar. But the problem with mine is mine came loose. The cold shoe from the rail came loose.
Yeah.
Now, while yours is still working, Fred, I had mine. It would move a little bit in the cold shoe, and a little bit of tape on the bottom actually shored that up for me. I don't know if that'll help for you.
That's what I did too. But what happens is I'm using a Sony 6400, and the shoe is low, and it's real low in it, so it's very hard for me to keep it tight. But I scrape it up. But what the heck? I put them in the you see it? You see it in Facebook? See it come up in Facebook over there?
I'm not in Facebook, but I'll look for it later.
Okay, but it's in Facebook. But also, the most important thing is this. But on mine used an Allen wrench.
I see your link. Hang on.
I just repasted it in our chat.
All right. Okay.
But John, mine, you said yours came apart. Mine has an Allen wrench, and you go forward and backwards, and I want it all the way forward so when if I have to put my eye up, it doesn't hit me.
Yeah, it's interesting. They must have changed it, because mine didn't have a screw there. It was actually a piece of it. The cold shoe had a peg that went into it. It wasn't adjustable, and it completely came out. I'm going to need to buy this because
I'll shoot a link up to it, because this one, if you see my camera here, okay, see how low it is in there?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, so
when I put that joker in there, it's in here like this, right? So you see it?
Right.
Where do you
then I
get the
turn around
attachment?
and I put this on here, and I make sure it doesn't hit my eye. Okay. Make a liar out of me. Should have did that first. Well, anyway, this goes on. And I make sure this clears my eyes. So I'm back here like this.
Where do you get the attachment at?
At Amazon. They have it there. They've got 2 or 3 of them. And I ordered 2 of them. And the first one came in and I thought it was a little loose. So I ordered another one. It was the same.
So what's
one
it
was metal
called?
and one's, and I'd rather get the plastic, but this one's metal.
So what's it called?
Here, I'll shoot the link. Instead of doing all that, I'll just show you which one I use.
So, what focusing method do you use when you're shooting a bird like that?
Well, what I do is the first thing I have to do is zero this thing out. Okay, when I zero this out, you have to have a length, a place where you want to shoot. You can't shoot it. You can't zero this at let's say 50 feet. If you're going to be shooting that bird at let's say 200 feet, you have to have a target about 200 feet. Okay, but I'm shooting with a 600 or 900 millimeter lens, so I keep it out at 600 because in Congo Wingo, those birds are out there. Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
what you have to do is you got to wait for them to come in. But when you zero this thing out, you're not zeroing it into infinity because you won't have the flexibility. Okay, and I usually don't come off a 600 unless I got them in here. If I have them in here and I could see them in here, then I'll do it. Okay, then I'll come off of it. But of course, I'm going to have this out and I'm going to have it up nice and bright. See how that thing's out like so?
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is I'll set this thing to bright sunlight. So this will be a lot brighter, but this one right here is actually the correct one. So, and I also shoot, I also shoot with I shoot in shutter priority, and everybody will laugh at me and say, no, you shouldn't do that. But I'm in shutter priority and I'm kicking it down 2/3 of a stop. So everything else is in automatic. So you're going to have your what do you call it, in your ISO in automatic because it's going to change so quick.
I would shoot.
And then what do you call it?
For that kind of stuff, I would shoot in shutter priority and go to 2000 and let everything else go automatic.
Right, that's what I do, but a lot of people don't do it.
Right.
I mean, those guys, like the guy that was sitting next to me, he had $18,000 worth of equipment sitting there, and he does it. Everybody does it different.
Yeah, everybody does it different. I mean, I shoot it in manual and let the ISO float.
Yeah.
What I'm
Yeah, I
wondering,
do manual too and float. Yeah.
what I'm wondering is which focusing mode is it? AI servo or?
Well, I'm in servo mode. I'm in servo mode, but the thing is, I'm also in a tracking. Okay, the Sony has this tracking system.
Oh, nice.
Once I lock onto that bird, as long as I keep him in the frame, he's going to stay with me.
That's cool.
But you got to be. It sounds easy, but it isn't.
Yeah.
You have to. It's hard to get him in there. I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. I'm going to share the screen, okay? Well, I was. Let me see what I got here. I'm going to say share screen, and then I'm going to say, wow. Oh, this one. Do you see that?
Wow.
Okay, that was shot with that, but you got to remember that I was clicking off 11 frames a second, and out of if I'm on it for 10 seconds, I'm filling my buffer up. So what you're doing is, and if I shoot for let's say 3 or 4 seconds and I kick off 20 or 30 frames, I'm only going to get probably 20 in focus. I mean that sharp focus.
You're not using
a lot better when it was when I was doing it before. I was lucky to get 1 or 2.
All right, you're using electronic shutter, not mechanical, correct? Get that many?
No, that's just what it is I have a Sony, but in mine I have a mechanical shutter, and I also got electronic shutter.
Right.
The front curtain is electronic, and the back one is you have the 2 curtains.
Yeah, well, my camera does electronic and the manual.
Well, mine's together. Okay. Yeah. If I go into silent mode, I only shoot 8 frames a second. But if I'm doing electronic front curtain and manual rear curtain, they'll shoot off 11 frames a second.
All right. Yeah, I don't know how mine does, but it goes pretty darn fast.
Well, that ain't nothing though. I mean, the guy that was right next to me, his was running at 20 frames a second.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but he was running a camera that cost $5,000.
Yeah.
And he had a lens that cost 13.
It's 9 o'clock right now. Let's try to blow through some
I'm
more.
sorry.
No problem.
I'm sorry.
Let's go to the Webbers and see what they have to share with us tonight.
I'm too cheap to buy stuff, so I made this little thing out of an old computer push button. It's my camera release, and the plug comes from an old MP3 player. It works quite well on Canon. And then for my cell phone, I have this bracket. It has a hefty magnet from a disc, and it just holds the camera in, and there you go.
Cool. So you can mount it on the tripod.
Yeah, tripod. And there's a little 1/4-inch nut that I need to keep with it to go on the tripod with one of these holes. That's my point.
Low tech works best sometimes.
Yeah. So Fred, can your spotting thing work for astronomy? Like lining up on planets? He's muted.
Unmute.
Hey Fred, can you unmute? Does your lining up thing work for planets?
You're unmute.
There you go.
Okay, you want me to mute or unmute?
Unmute.
Unmute.
Okay, what's the question?
Does your red spot device work for, say, lining up planets? If you want to...
I don't think so, because it's so, you're talking planets are so far away, and all this thing's doing is just, all it's doing is doing a focus of where I can keep it at 900. But you're talking a planet with a 900 millimeter lens going after a planet on a camera. You can barely get the moon in there. Okay, it's a completely different ballgame.
Now, if you're just trying to hit the North Star,
you could probably use this on a telescope, put it on the top of the telescope, and use it. But I already have one on my telescope. It has one on it. It has a light, and then you zero it. You zero where the planet is, or where you find it, where you want it, and then it's got a light in there, and you see it, and then you're using a 20 eyepiece that you can see everything, and then when you find it, you switch it to a 10, and then it comes in closer.
Oh.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. I have
So then you have a bigger view of it.
I have a 600 mm lens. It's very difficult to line it up on say a planet. The moon's okay, but trying to line it up on a planet, it's almost hard.
But you're saying 600? Are you talking about a 600 millimeter telescope or a 600 millimeter camera lens?
600 millimeter camera lens.
Oh, well, you won't be able to do it. I don't think you'll be able to do it, because I have that. Do you see that telescope behind me?
Yeah.
I have a difficulty time doing that. Okay.
Oh.
And like the other day I had, matter of fact, you see Saturn. I got Saturn on it, but the only way I could do it was I had to line it up in the front and then put a 17 millimeter on the front of it. And then after I got it, put the 10 on it. Here's what I'm saying.
Because I'm trying to get Saturn and Jupiter when they line up on the 21st.
This goes in the eyepiece. This is the eyepiece.
Right.
So the eyepiece on this one is a 10. Right. So the 10 is for farther out in space. So if you have a 20, it gives you more of a view. So it's easier to line up. Then you switch to that. That's what I would do with the camera. What I do with the camera, I don't think you could do it, but you could try a smaller lens, find it, and then switch it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for sharing. Ed, do you have anything to share with us tonight?
Yes, I do. A lot of times, having a nice flash on the camera really helps out. So I have expensive flashes, but this is a little SB400 flash, and it's really nice. It has a little thing where you can pan it up and do everything. So a lot of times when I'm taking pictures of different people and everything, and I try it without a flash and with a flash, and sometimes the flash one turns out great, and sometimes without a flash it turns out great. So it's really handy to try different things.
That's
But I
fantastic,
have
Ed.
a big flash with all kind of attachments on there. I have that Gary Fong thing,
Hmm.
and all those other things takes up a lot of room and everything. But this is handy.
So you like the small one because it's small, because it fits in a camera bag easier.
Yeah.
You can
Nice.
keep it on your camera.
Keep it on the
Yeah,
camera.
it goes right on my camera. It's really nice. I just got this camera. It's a mirrorless camera. I really like it.
Which one?
It's a Z6, and the reason why I got it is I have a bad back, and my big my other cameras are very heavy, so that's why I got it.
Great. Thanks for sharing,
It has
Ed.
a lot of nice new features on it too that the other ones don't have. But the other ones, well, they always take good pictures.
I got a question for you. You got the Z6 mirrorless Nikon one?
Yes.
Are you using an adapter on it, or are you using a native lens?
I have two native lenses. One is 24-70 f4.
That's a very nice lens.
It's really nice, and it doesn't weigh a lot. And the other one is like 24-200.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. That one, my buddy just bought that one. I recommended it to him, and he bought it, and he was using adapters, and he was having problem with the focusing. As soon as he switched to that lens you're talking about with the f4, it's lightning fast. But he has a 7, but it's lightning fast.
It's great for doing videos. This camera takes nice videos too. My other Nikon cameras don't take good videos. The focusing isn't good.
That's a very nice video.
When you change scenes, it doesn't focus real fast.
Thanks for
So
sharing,
I'm
Ed.
really happy with the camera, but I have to learn to do a lot of new things. I have to talk to Bob about taking pictures of the two planets together, figuring out how to do that before we go out.
Mary Lou.
Are we going to go out to the monastery to do that?
I think Steve is working on it.
I have an idea. After the program's over, I got an idea how we can do it. Okay. After the program's over, if you want to stick around, I'll show you my idea that I have to take a picture of those planets on the 21st.
Okay.
Mary Lou, you have something for us?
Well, my favorite new gadgets are a Lumen Cube, and I got a really nice wireless shutter release, which works from very far away. I just love that. And I got a new head, Binro ball head, which is really nice. It's very exact, and I love that. And I got new fake wireless light. I forgot what they're called, pocket wizards, but I got knockoffs and they're really good. And then the biggest purchase was this. I'll get far away, but I got myself finally a really small but nice backpack. It's not huge, and it took me a real long time to find something that will fit all my equipment, in case I want to bring all my equipment with me. And it's backpacked, so I shopped around. I ordered one, and it was way too big. I had to return a bunch of stuff, but I finally got one I liked. It's called a what is it? It's a Vanguard. Yeah, Vanguard.
It's tough finding a good bag. You need to go. It's tough finding a bag that's mail order. It's so much easier going to a store with your gear and then just trying it out.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that works for you. Very cool stuff. David, do you have anything with us? Nope. Okay. How about JC? And make sure to unmute yourself if you do.
Yeah, well, mine is not actually. Well, it is new. I brought it across the summer, and I bought it mainly because of my macro stuff out in the field. I'm always I really don't like to do a lot in the studio here at the house. I do a little bit every once in a while, but what I bought, anyone can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Can anybody?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You know what that's called, right?
A snake.
Ah, that is a plamp, PLAMP. And what I use it for when I'm in the field, like, there's always a lot of, you're getting down trying to shoot a flower or a plant or something, as your background is always busy or you got stuff in the way. So what I did, I even made this right here to go with it. I clamped this on it, like this right here. I stick this in the ground, and then whatever, and I keep a bunch of backgrounds in the car with me. And what I do, I just take my, you see me here, I just take my background, whatever background I want, I keep a bunch of in the car. And I just, well, this is just gonna be for right now, I'll show you. I screw this in there. And if you see, now I put this background behind my flower or whatsoever's in the ground. And now I got a nice blurred background without a lot of distractions on there. And I keep different backgrounds in there. So this is what I found to be very handy for the type of photography that I like to do out in the field.
Very clever.
Cool.
Yeah, well, this thing is not cheap. It bends all type of ways. It snakes all around and everything. I'm quite sure you guys have seen it. You know what I mean? But this thing is not, and it's not cheap. It's like something like this you would think maybe cost $10 or $15. This thing costs $40-something. So they're making a lot of money on it because it's very handy though. But now I had to debate on whether I want to spend $40 for something. Believe it or not, I tried to make it first, but it was going to cost me $50 to make it, so I just went on and bought it.
That's great.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing. How about you, Lewis?
Yeah, well, it's not really new stuff, but what I really like is this 400 to 800 lens that I've been using with my new Lumix. The reason is that I used to have two Canon cameras and all kind of lenses, but everything just kind of got really heavy. So I went to Micro Four Thirds, and I looked at Olympus and all of that, and I settled on actually a Lumix G9, primarily because it fit my hand real well. But the Panasonic top of the line lenses are Leica. So this is actually a Panasonic Leica, made by Leica, and this reaches out to 800. So 800 millimeter with this thing right here is pretty light and easy to work with.
Wow.
And it's a great lens. It's not an inexpensive lens. Believe me, it's about $1,500, but it's solid. It's not plastic. It's all metal. And I have another Leica that is, I think it's 100 to 400 a full frame, and that's all I really use. The thing that Mary Lou talked about, that Lume Cube, I got that a while ago, and actually that comes in really handy. I really like it. It's easy to handle, and it throws a big bright light, and I might even get another one really. And it screws on the light lamps holders, that the stands rather, and I do have some other LED floodlights for shooting, but the battery burns out, or they're really you got cords all over the place and you're tripping and killing everything. And one time I knocked over all the system and it grabbed it before it hit the floor. So, but that's pretty much it. The newest things I've got is like and the camera I use is a Lumix G9, which of course Panasonic is shooting for full frame now, and I would like to get one, but they're really up there like $4,000 or $5,000. So, but I have works well for me, and I really haven't been getting anything new.
Hey, Lewis, did you say that land was expensive?
Well, to me, that's expensive. $1,500.
$1,500. I wish Nikon would make something, even a 600 millimeter lens for $1,500. I'd be the first one to buy.
Well, that's how it is. But it's metal, and it's made by Leica. Actually, all my lenses are made by Leica except for
that's a full frame lens.
What?
That's a full frame lens. I mean, with a full frame camera.
No. It's for Micro Four Thirds.
Oh, okay, Micro Four Thirds.
But it's equivalent to full frame of up to 800. So it's really a 100 to 400, but in Micro Four Thirds, it's really.
Okay, so it's a 100 to 400 original. Okay, for full frame. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I mean, you do lose the peripherals maybe, with a Micro Four Thirds, but it works for me. It works fine. And actually, the thing is, it's light. Everything's much lighter than my Canon stuff. And I love my Canon cameras, but I had some lenses that were really heavy, and it just was just too much, you know. So
Yeah, I understand 100%. As we get up there in age, we looking for lighter stuff. I can tell you that.
yeah, so it's good stuff. You know, they aren't that popular. The Lumixes aren't that popular, but it does, and it has all kind. It has so many features in that camera that I don't even use them all. It's crazy, you know. Yeah, you would spend. I spent a couple of months just reading through all the stuff and just trying to figure out what it all did. You know, so, but I use some of the fancy stuff, and it's very similar to the Olympus. Actually, the Olympus has some features that are a little bit better. Same feature, but that this one has, but it's like full frame. That camera will get me up to 80 megapixels on a shot. What it does is it shifts the sensor around and it adds it all together. But my computer won't handle the 80 megapixels images. It gets real slow, you know. So, but yeah, I've done that too. So I like it. You know, I'm pretty much set with what I'm doing. And I just wish all this crazy stuff will end so I can go out and do some more shooting and stuff. That's why I ended up shooting those crazy trees out there. I was running out of stuff to do, but I have an idea. My granddaughter made up a really nice gingerbread house with all the frostings and everything. So I'm going to try and get that into the monthly thing. I have some ideas to use in Infinity with it, so I'll see what I do with that. That's pretty much it. I'm pretty well set.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Lewis. Does anybody have anything else before we close out for tonight? I guess not. If anybody wanted to stick around and continue to use the server after we close out, just stick around. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. Have a very Merry Christmas. I think Hanukkah is ending. Is Hanukkah ending tomorrow night?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think the end of Hanukkah is tomorrow night. So I hope anybody that celebrates Hanukkah had a great Hanukkah. And we look forward to seeing everybody next time. Hopefully next year we'll have this in person. And don't forget to check out Brian Flynn's great CD and photo books, as well as tonight is the last night to get your Arundel Camera Club holiday ornament. We look forward to seeing you next week. And actually, no, we're not going to be in next week, right, Christine? We may set up the server in case anybody wants to just come out and just talk a little bit. December 30th is the deadline for your photo assignment for December. And we hope everybody has a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good night.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks for organizing this.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.